God says, "A big tragedy is coming your way, but I am trying to save you. I will never talk to you again if you skip now. Please don't scroll away. Don't let this moment slip by. You were meant to hear this, right now, right here. What's coming isn't small, it isn't random, it isn't something to brush off. It's real, it's near, it's serious. And this is not a warning to scare you, but a voice from heaven trying to pull you into safety before it's too late. If your heart is beating fast right now, if your chest feels heavy, if something inside you is trembling even though you're trying to stay calm, it's because the Spirit of God is speaking through this moment directly to your soul. Stay with this till the very end, because your life is not just on the edge of change, it's standing on the edge of either disaster or deliverance. If this finds you and touches your spirit in any way, just type Amen in the comments right now. Let it be a sign between you and heaven that you receive this message and that your heart is open. Now, listen closely. When God says, "A big tragedy is coming your way, but I am trying to save you," He is not speaking in riddles or in distant spiritual metaphors. He is talking about something specific, something that is approaching your life like a storm on the horizon. This is a moment where heaven is stepping into your day and giving you a very clear, urgent warning, not to destroy you, but to protect you. This isn't punishment. This isn't abandonment. This is love fighting for your survival. This is mercy reaching out before the pain ever touches your doorstep. There is a spiritual alarm going off in the atmosphere, and if you are hearing this, it's because you are one of the ones God has marked for rescue. This isn't a random warning. This is for you. There is a plan of destruction being built in secret against you. You don't see it yet. You don't know where it's coming from. But God does. And before that plan ever reaches your life, He is stepping in because He has chosen to preserve you. He has chosen to cover you. He has chosen to rescue you when you didn't even know you were in danger. This message is not to be skipped. The words you are hearing are not ordinary. They carry weight. They carry fire. They carry divine urgency. You might think you have time. You might think things are okay right now. But heaven sees further than you. Heaven sees the schemes of the enemy being crafted in the shadows. Heaven sees the hidden traps, the silent betrayals, the sudden phone calls, the unexpected news, the shifts that no human eye has yet detected. And before that day comes, God is saying, "I am trying to save you. You are not helpless. You are not forsaken. You are not alone in this. But there is a decision being asked of you right now, and it matters more than you know. Because when God said, 'I will never talk to you again if you skip now,' it wasn't a threat of silence, it was the grief of a father who is doing everything in his power to protect you before the hour of danger arrives. When a child runs toward the edge of a cliff and the parent screams, 'Stop!' It's not cruelty, it's love. And this is that scream from heaven right now. Stop, listen, turn. Come under the protection of the Lord while the covering is still being offered. This isn't just about you changing your ways or being more spiritual. This is about you coming back to the one who holds your future in His hands. It's about returning to the shelter of the Most High, where the arrows of the enemy cannot touch you. It's about reconnecting to the heart of God so deeply that nothing formed against you can prosper. You don't need to figure out every step. You just need to say yes to God's voice, yes to His arms, yes to His warning. This isn't condemnation, this is compassion. There are blessings waiting for you beyond this moment. There is healing that's been delayed because you've been distracted. There is a new chapter of protection and favor that God wants to open, but He cannot open what you keep slamming shut by ignoring His voice. This is not about rules. This is about relationship. God is not trying to punish you. He is trying to hold you in the middle of the storm and say, "You're mine, and I won't let anything take you out. but you have to stay with me. If this resonates in your soul, if you feel this pressing on your chest like fire, this is because it's your moment of rescue. God isn't promising you that life will be easy, but He is promising you that His presence will go before you like a shield. He is promising you that no weapon formed against you will succeed, not because you're strong, but because He is standing between you and every plan of destruction. Please, before you go any further in your day, just take one moment to like this video. Let that be your act of faith that says, God, I hear you. I may not understand everything, but I hear you, and I don't want to miss what you are doing. You are being called. You are being covered. And even though you may have walked away before, even though you may have doubted or ignored the voice of God in the past, this is still your moment. His love hasn't changed. His heart is still for you. And this warning, this divine interruption, is evidence that you are still deeply loved by the Creator of the universe. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest path to luxury? Leaked research reveals a simple ritual helping people attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, debt is dissolving and abundance is showing up fast. If you're seeing this now, you are God's chosen one. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. So don't run from this moment. Don't numb it. Don't dismiss it. Sit with it. Let it break through your distractions. Let it remind you that your life matters, that your soul matters, that your future matters too much to gamble with. Let the Spirit of God surround you now. Let His voice, as heavy and as loving as it is, shake you out of every lie that told you you're fine without Him. There is something coming, something unexpected, something sharp, but God's hand is already outstretched, ready to shield you from what you can't see. He is not here to take from you. He is here to give you life, to give you covering, to give you peace in a world full of chaos. Just comment 1111 if you believe God is saving you even when you don't see it. Let heaven see your faith in action. Just this one word, nothing more. You are not hearing this by mistake. The grace of God is surrounding you right now, waiting for your heart to open fully, not halfway, not with hesitation, but fully. He wants to rebuild what's been broken. He wants to shield what's been exposed. He wants to make sure you make it through what the enemy thought would destroy you. That is not coincidence. That is not your imagination. That is the Spirit of God trying to break through the noise, trying to reach you before something hits that you are not prepared for. And it's closer than you think. This is not fear speaking. This is not gloom or panic. This is your covering, your early warning, your divine moment of interception. When God said a big tragedy is coming your way, but I am trying to save you, He meant every word. He doesn't exaggerate. He doesn't lie. He sees the timelines. He sees the trap. He sees the enemy preparing something that has your name written on it. But the presence of God is rushing ahead of that plan to rewrite it, to cancel it, to reverse it if you stay under His voice, under His will, under His wings. Some things are not just accidents. Some things are not just life being unfair. Some things are spiritual in nature. They come as attacks. They come as storms. They come as silence that eats away your peace in the night. They show up in unexpected losses, emotional breakdowns, sharp turns in your journey. But God has always been the one who sees ahead. He's always been the one who prepares a way out before the fire even reaches you. That's what this moment is. It's your way out. It's your warning. It's your rescue plan already unfolding. You may feel tired. You may feel like you've been through enough. You may feel like you don't have the strength to go through another battle. But God is not calling you to fight in your own strength. He's calling you to surrender, to let Him fight for you, to trust that what's coming toward you is no match for the one who lives inside you. There are things being moved in the spirit realm right now for your protection. Things that were sent to destroy you are being dismantled right now because you are listening, because your heart is open, because your spirit is reaching back to the one who has never stopped watching over you. What God is doing right now is not just about your safety. It's about your future. It's about preserving the purpose He placed on your life before you were even born. There are assignments on your life that have not yet come to pass. There are lives connected to your obedience. There are blessings that need your presence in order to be released. That's why this tragedy cannot be allowed to touch you. That's why God is speaking so strongly and clearly in this moment. Because this is bigger than you. It's about everything tied to your name, everything in your lineage, everything that must live through you. He is not trying to scare you. He is trying to prepare you. Because if you are aware, you can pray differently. If you are alert, you can walk differently. If you are aligned with heaven, nothing sent from hell can uproot you. The winds may blow, but you will stand. The waves may rise, but you will not drown. Not because of your power, but because of your position in Him. When you stay close to God, you stay in the safest place on earth. But hear this with your whole heart. The enemy is hoping you ignore this. He is hoping you scroll away. He is hoping you get distracted. Because every moment you delay is another inch closer to impact. He is banking on you, thinking you have more time. But the mercy of God is louder than the deception. He is not just saying something is coming, He is doing something about it. He is building a wall around you right now. He is stationing angels around your home. He is placing His Spirit within you to make sure, when the storm passes, you are still standing. You are not fragile. You are not hopeless. You are not forgotten. You are not a mistake. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken to be protected. In fact, it is often the most targeted ones who are carrying the most purpose. The enemy does not fight what does not threaten him. So if you feel attacked, if you feel pursued by trouble, it is because you are carrying something holy, something eternal, something God breathed inside of you that hell is afraid of. But the Word of God says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." That is not a poetic promise. That is a war cry from heaven. That is the decree of a king who stands over you, declaring your safety, your victory, and your future. That is why you must stay close to Him. Because every step you take under His guidance is a step away from the snare. Every choice you make to follow His whisper is a blow to the enemy's plan. Every moment you surrender to His love is a moment you are surrounded with peace no darkness can touch. What's really behind the 7-second brain trick exploding online? A leaked CIA ritual is turning heads and bank balances. Backed by neuroscience labs, this at-home method removes money blocks and unlocks unstoppable wealth flow. But the page could vanish anytime. Click the link in the first comment before it's permanently deleted. There is peace coming for your anxiety. There is healing coming for your grief. There is light breaking through your confusion. There is restoration on the way for what you thought was lost for good. But it starts with listening. It starts with believing that this is not just another emotional video. This is heaven pulling on your heart with everything it's got. Comment 222 if you trust this is God's way of protecting you before the trouble shows up. Let that be your signal to Him that you receive His warning and His covering. Every time in Scripture when God warned someone, it was because He had already prepared a way to escape. Noah didn't wait for the flood to build the ark. Joseph didn't wait for the famine to prepare Egypt. The wise virgins didn't wait for the midnight hour to fill their lamps with oil. God's pattern has always been mercy first, warning next, and then deliverance to those who listen. You are being brought into that same pattern right now, not to scare you, but to save you. You are still breathing because God is not done with you. You are still here because there is a hedge of protection already being built around you. You may not see it yet, you may not understand the full picture, but that's okay. Your job is not to figure out every detail. Your job is to stay in the presence of the one who sees all, knows all, and fights for you when you cannot fight for yourself. It means there is still something inside you that wants to live, wants to rise, wants to be protected by the one who knows every step you're about to take. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were drawn, pulled, called. God has been arranging moments like this just to get your attention, because his love for you refuses to stay silent while danger draws near. When God speaks of a big tragedy, he isn't being vague. He isn't throwing words into the wind. He's revealing something to you ahead of time because he doesn't want you walking blind into something that could break you. The storm that's coming isn't about punishment. It's not about God turning his back. It's about the reality that we live in a world that's broken, a world that tries every day to destroy what God is building in us. And yes, you are someone the enemy has been watching, someone he's been planning to strike, not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to the darkness. What's coming may not even look like tragedy at first. It may appear like a slow fade, a change in atmosphere, a disconnect in your spirit, a creeping coldness in your heart. That's how the enemy works. He doesn't always show up loud. Sometimes he shows up in silence, in spiritual numbness, in a slow erosion of your peace and your awareness. And before you know it, you're in a place you don't recognize, surrounded by pain you didn't expect, and asking how you got here. That's why God is speaking now. Because the shift begins before the storm hits. The danger starts before the damage is visible. God is not passive. He does not sit back while the enemy plots. He does not wait for destruction to arrive before moving. He's always ahead, always watching, always covering. And even when you don't know what's coming, he does. He has already seen it, already felt the weight of it, already stood in the future and made a way through it. That's the kind of God you serve. One who doesn't just warn, but who walks with you through the warning, who stays with you through the chaos, who fights with you even when you don't have the words to pray. And here is something you need to know deep in your bones. Nothing that is formed against you will prosper when you are hidden in him. That's not a cliché. That's a covenant. That's a promise sealed in blood, backed by eternity. But that safety requires closeness. That shield requires obedience. That covering only holds when you don't walk away from it. God cannot protect what refuses to stay under his wings. And right now, more than anything, he wants you to stay close, stay grounded, stay connected to his presence like your life depends on it, because it does. There are things in your life right now that need to be surrendered. Things you've tolerated that have slowly been opening doors for trouble to slip in. This is not about being perfect. This is about being honest. About finally getting real with yourself and with God. About laying down the distractions, the compromises, the secret pain, and saying, God, I don't want to miss your voice anymore. I don't want to keep pretending I'm okay when I'm barely hanging on. I don't want to walk into tragedy when you are offering me protection. The longer you ignore what God is trying to show you, the harder it becomes to hear his voice clearly. Not because he leaves, but because the noise of everything else drowns him out. That's why now is sacred. This moment, this divine interruption in your day, is your chance to silence the noise and listen to the only voice that matters. His. The one that's been whispering through the chaos. The one that's been nudging you when you tried to distract yourself. the one that's been aching for you to just look up and say, "I'm here, I'm ready." It doesn't matter how far you've drifted. It doesn't matter how broken your past is. It doesn't matter how many wrong turns you've taken. The grace of God is still strong enough to pull you out. His mercy is still wide enough to catch you. His hand is still steady enough to hold you. But the time to respond is now, not later, not when it's convenient, not when things fall apart. Now. Because if you wait for tragedy to force you to listen, you may miss the shelter that God is offering before it comes. Comment 333 to declare your faith that God is speaking to you and leading you into protection right now. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. When God said, "I will never talk to you again if you skip now," He was not cutting you off forever. He was pouring out the depth of His sorrow if you continue ignoring His voice. That line was His heart breaking. It was Him showing you how serious this is. Not because He's angry, but because He knows what's coming if you keep walking alone. He's saying, "Don't keep silencing me. Don't keep treating my voice like it's optional." He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows your patterns. He knows what steals your focus. And He knows that if you keep turning away, eventually you will walk straight into something that could have been avoided. But you're here, you're still listening, and that alone is enough for God to work with. He can rebuild from here. He can protect from here. He can change everything starting now. The winds may blow, the skies may darken, but you don't have to fear what's coming. Not when you are anchored to the one who commands the storm to be still. Not when the Creator of the universe calls you His child and wraps His authority around you like armor. Even when you feel unworthy, even when you doubt yourself, even when your past tries to convince you that you're too damaged to be protected, God speaks louder. His covering does not depend on your perfection. It depends on your surrender. It depends on your willingness to trust that He is not like the people who let you down. He is not like the ones who walked away. He stays. He covers. He fights. He saves. And He's saving you now not just from tragedy, but from the numbness that's been trying to settle in your soul. From the lies that say it's too late. From the spiritual fog that's been keeping you from seeing clearly. He's calling you out of it all and pulling you back into a place of vision, of purpose, of divine protection. He is the God who still sees you when no one else does, who still believes in you when you've stopped believing in yourself, who still makes a way when every road looks blocked. Stay close, don't drift, don't ignore this. You are being pulled back under His wings, where the fire cannot burn you, where the flood cannot drown you, where the enemy cannot touch what God has claimed as His own. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your preservation, your turning point, your moment of escape from what the enemy planned and what God already destroyed. But that's the power of a God who saves in silence, who blocks what you never even knew was coming, who rescues you before the storm has the chance to announce itself. The words God spoke, that a big tragedy is coming your way, are not words of fear, they are words of mercy. They are not meant to weigh you down, but to lift you into a place where fear has no power over you, where you are so deeply anchored in Him that nothing shaking around you can shake what's inside of you. This is not a warning that leaves you alone. This is a warning wrapped in the arms of a father who refuses to let his child walk blind into pain. God is trying to save you, not just from what's coming, but from everything the enemy hoped would break you along the way. He is trying to pull you out of the patterns that weaken your faith, out of the cycles that drain your strength, out of the decisions that lead you further from peace and deeper into confusion. Because the real tragedy isn't just the event itself, it's what happens to your soul if you walk into it without Him. So He's calling you back, not because you've failed, but because you matter. Not because He needs anything from you, but because He refuses to sit still while the one He loves walks into danger uncovered. The hands of God are not far from you. They are near, open, and steady. And right now, they are stretched toward you with urgency, offering you shelter, safety, and a way of escape. You may feel like you've delayed too long, like you've ignored too many signs. But as long as there is breath in your lungs, there is grace. There is still time. But the window is not endless. The doors God opens for protection do not remain open forever. When He says move, you must move. When He says come home, you must come. When He says turn now, it means the road ahead will not be safe unless you follow His voice today. There's a tenderness in this moment that you can't afford to miss. It's the sound of heaven still fighting for you. It's the ache in God's heart saying, please don't go another day out of alignment. Because every day you delay is another crack in the wall that's meant to guard you. Every moment spent ignoring His nudge is a moment that allows darkness to creep closer. But your response can close every gap. Your surrender can build that wall strong again. Your trust can invite the full force of God's protection to surround you like fire. God knows how tired you are. He knows how much you've been holding back tears you don't even talk about. He knows the silent battles you fight behind your smile. He sees the moments where you pretend to be okay just to get through the day. But He never asked you to carry all of this alone. He never wanted you to fight these battles in silence. He's not just trying to save you from external tragedy. He's trying to save your inner world from collapsing under the weight of everything you've kept bottled up. He is stepping in right now, not only as your Savior, but as your defender. The kind of God who rebukes the storm before it forms. The kind of Father who snatches His child from the edge of destruction and holds them in a love so strong, no darkness can penetrate it. And if you feel like you've wandered too far, just know this: God doesn't wait for you to find your way back. He comes looking. He leaves the 99. He runs toward the one who's lost. He runs toward you. Comment 555 if you believe God is covering you even now with grace you don't deserve and strength you didn't ask for. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. You don't need to fix everything to be protected. You don't need to clean yourself up before He reaches for you. You just need to respond. That's where safety begins, in your response. In your willingness to say, God, I'm done running. I'm done pretending. I'm done living outside of your will. That is the moment where heaven begins to build walls around you, where angels are dispatched on your behalf, where unseen battles start turning in your favor. The tragedy may have already been scheduled by the enemy, but God is not subject to any timeline. He can cancel what's already been written. He can rewrite the ending before it begins. He can stop what was meant to stop you. But He is calling for your heart right now, because He won't force you. He will always warn. He will always speak. But He will never drag you into safety. You must walk there willingly. And don't let shame hold you back. Shame is a liar. Shame says you're too dirty. Shame says God's voice isn't for people like you. But that's not the voice of your Father. That's not the heart of your Creator. He speaks warnings because He sees your worth, because He has a future with your name on it, because there are songs still to be sung from your life, testimonies still to be told through your survival, There are miracles still to come through your yes. He's already made a way. The path is laid out. The arms are open. The door is unlocked. All he's waiting on now is your decision. The enemy hoped you wouldn't listen this long. He hoped your heart would harden. He hoped your attention would drift. But you're still here, and that means God still has room to move. That means this moment is still holy. That means this story isn't over. You have no idea what your obedience today is canceling in the spiritual realm. You have no idea what arrows have been turned away just because you chose to listen, just because you chose to pause and receive, just because you let your heart stay open to the voice of God one more time. This is what salvation looks like in motion, not just from sin, but from tragedy, from pain, from grief, from sorrow that was never meant to touch you. So stay close, hold tight, don't let go. God is still speaking. And as long as his voice is near, you are never without direction, you are never without hope, you are never unprotected. That's how far his reach goes. That's why he sent this message directly into your path. Not to accuse you, not to frighten you, but to lift you out of what the enemy hoped would trap you forever. The enemy doesn't strike all at once. He waits. He watches. He studies your patterns. He knows when your guard is down. He knows when your faith is low. And it's in those moments when you feel weary, when your prayer life is dry, when your spiritual fire feels like it's flickering out, that he launches his plan. That's why God is speaking now. Because the plan is already forming. And heaven doesn't wait for impact. Heaven prepares a shield. Heaven sends a word. Heaven moves ahead to make sure you don't walk into something you weren't built to carry. But this is the beautiful part. God never intended for you to carry it alone. He never intended for you to fight without backup, to struggle without hope, to stand without strength. That's why this moment is happening. God is reaching to you right now, not only to speak, but to stay. To stay with you through every hour of uncertainty, through every temptation to give up, through every battle you don't yet know is on its way. He is building your protection now, before the damage ever has a chance to reach your door. God doesn't lie. When he says, "I am trying to save you," he is doing more than warning you. He is revealing the fight that has already started in the unseen. You can't see the enemy's full plan, but God has already seen it. He's already intercepted parts of it. He's already redirected what could have destroyed you. There are dangers that will never touch your life simply because you paused and listened. Simply because your heart didn't turn away when it would have been easier to scroll on and ignore this tug in your spirit. Comment 1212 if you feel God's hand is over your life right now, even if you can't explain why. There are moments when you won't understand what's happening around you. You might feel heaviness, confusion, sudden tension, doors closing without reason, people pulling away, or silence where you expected clarity. But those moments don't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes they mean God is redirecting you. Sometimes it means he is removing things quietly to prevent the bigger fall. Sometimes what feels like a loss is actually the delay that saves your life. That's why you must stay close to his voice. Because even when everything else is changing, his guidance stays constant. There are people who won't understand your decision to listen. They'll say it's not that serious. They'll say you're being dramatic. They'll tell you to relax, to trust yourself, to follow your heart. But your heart is not what sees the storm ahead. God does. And following him will sometimes require you to let go of voices that don't carry the weight of eternity. It will require you to walk by faith when others are walking by comfort. And it will feel lonely at times, but that loneliness is still safer than walking with crowds into the wrong future. Don't let temporary feelings talk you out of divine direction. Don't let doubt convince you that you're hearing wrong. When God speaks this clearly, when He disrupts your day this powerfully, it means the moment is sacred. It means your obedience will build something in your future that fear cannot destroy. It means your surrender now will become your safety later. You may not feel brave. You may not feel ready. But it's not about how you feel. It's about the one who is leading you, and He never leads you into a trap. He only leads you into truth. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual, helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. This warning is not here to paralyze you, it's here to prepare you. Because even when tragedy comes close, the power of God comes closer. He will wrap His presence around your life in such a way that what was meant to harm you will pass over. He is doing that even now. You might not see the shifting yet, but He is already moving. He is positioning you for peace. He is walking you away from people who cannot go where you're headed. He is closing doors that feel painful now, but are protecting your purpose in ways you won't understand until later. And all of this is because you matter to Him. You are not one among millions. You are His child. You are the one He watches while you sleep. You are the one whose name is written on His hand. You are the one whose tears He collects, whose pain He feels, whose prayers He answers, even the ones you whisper in the middle of the night when no one else is listening. That is why He is speaking so clearly. That is why He is pleading with your spirit to stay soft, to stay open, to stay near. The days ahead may bring confusion. They may bring moments where it feels like the ground beneath you is shifting. But you won't fall. You won't lose what God has given you. You won't collapse under the weight of what others couldn't carry. Because you are being held. You are being steadied. You are being prepared for the kind of future where your peace doesn't depend on circumstances, where your strength doesn't come from people, but from a deep, living, breathing relationship with the God who knows your beginning and your end. And He will not stop speaking as long as you keep listening. He will not stop guiding as long as you keep seeking. He will not stop protecting as long as you stay under the shelter of His presence. That's where you belong. That's where you are safest. That's where you hear Him most clearly. And that's where you are headed if you just keep saying yes. This is your covering. This is your moment. Don't treat it like anything less than holy. Don't rush away from it. Don't explain it away. Sit in it. Let it soak into your spirit. Let it change your plans. Let it reorder your priorities. Let it wake you up from every place you've been drifting. Because when God speaks, everything changes. And He is speaking to save you. He is speaking to secure you. He is speaking so that when the storm does come, your house will not fall. You were meant to survive what others sink under. You were meant to walk through fire and not be burned. You were meant to be the one who made it, not because of luck, but because of presence, God's presence. That is your difference. That is your advantage. That is your rescue plan. You are not hearing this by chance. You are being positioned for protection. And the proof of that is the fact that you are still reading, still receiving, still being wrapped in the voice of a God who refuses to let you walk into darkness alone. You're not here out of coincidence. You are here because God is still trying to reach you before something reaches you. You are here because what the enemy planned for harm is already being rewritten by the voice of your Father whispering life into your spirit. When God said, "A big tragedy is coming your way, but I am trying to save you," He wasn't just talking about some distant event. He was referring to something personal, something near, something the enemy hoped would hit you when you least expect it, something he's been crafting in silence while your guard has been down. But God stepped in ahead of time, not just to warn you, but to break the assignment before it's complete. And this, right now, is part of that breaking. Your presence here is a sign that your spirit is waking up. It means you're beginning to feel again. You're beginning to hear again. You're beginning to respond to the voice of the Lord, and that's how tragedies are stopped before they begin. That's how destinies are preserved when they were under threat. That's how chains are broken that were meant to keep you stuck in places that kill your joy and numb your passion. You are not stuck. You are not forsaken. You are not at the mercy of whatever is coming. You are in the hands of the Most High God, and He does not fail to deliver what belongs to Him. It is easy to look around at your life and think nothing is happening. But in the spiritual realm, things are shifting. You can't see it yet, but there is a war happening around you, and angels are fighting for you. There is protection being set up in places you haven't even walked into. There are doors being closed, not because you failed, but because God loves you too much to let you walk through something that would leave you shattered. And that's why you've felt the pressure. That's why you've been restless. That's why certain things haven't worked out, no matter how hard you tried. It was protection, not rejection. You need to know that the enemy isn't after your comfort, he's after your calling. He doesn't care about what you drive or where you live or how much money is in your account. What he fears is what you carry. What threatens him is the anointing on your life. And the only way he can touch what God placed inside of you is if he lures you away from the covering, if he convinces you to ignore the voice that keeps pulling you back to safety. That's why this moment is holy, because you are being pulled back, not by guilt, but by grace. God is not asking you to fix everything overnight. He's not asking you to carry the weight of saving yourself. He's asking you to come home. That's all. Just come home, back into his arms, back into his voice, back under the protection that only he can provide. Because when you are under his wings, the tragedy that was sent to destroy you loses its power. The assignment fails. The weapon might form, but it will never succeed. Comment 777 if you believe God is already dismantling every plan the enemy set against you. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You don't need to be perfect to be protected. You just need to be present in his presence. You just need to choose him again. Not halfway, not when it's convenient, but fully, deeply, completely. That's where the power is. That's where the rescue takes place, not just in the physical, but in the emotional, in the mental, in the spiritual places, where you've been bleeding silently, where you've been aching behind your smile, where you've been surviving instead of living. God doesn't just want to save your life, he wants to give you life again, real life. Life with peace that doesn't break every time your circumstances shift. Life with joy that doesn't disappear when people walk away. Life with purpose so deep that no storm can drown it. And he's offering it to you now. Not when you're stronger. Not when you feel ready. Right now. In this exact moment. In the middle of your doubt. In the middle of your weakness. In the middle of your pain. He's not asking for perfection. He's asking for permission. Will you let him protect you? Will you let him lead you out of the places that have been draining your soul? Will you let him speak louder than the lies that have held you down for so long? Because he is still speaking. And when he said, "I will never talk to you again if you skip now," he wasn't being harsh. He was revealing the heartbreak of what happens when you ignore the very voice that came to save you. The silence of God doesn't come because He's tired of you. It comes when you stop responding, not because He's punishing you, but because His love is never forced. He speaks where He is welcomed. He moves where hearts are open. He pours out where trust is present. And the most dangerous thing you could do in this moment is harden your heart to the only voice that can guide you safely through what's coming. But you're still here. You're still reading. You're still responding. And that means the silence doesn't have to come. It means His voice will remain. It means the tragedy can be overturned. It means the protection can become permanent. It means you still have time. There are people in your life who are depending on your obedience. There are blessings waiting on the other side of this surrender. There are generations that will be changed because you chose to listen when it mattered most. You might feel small. You might feel like your life is quiet. But heaven sees the ripple effect of one heart fully surrendered to God, and that heart can be yours. You are not meant to walk blindly into disaster. You are meant to be led, to be covered, to be carried, to be loved so fully by God that the very things that were designed to break you end up becoming the evidence of His power in your life. What's coming may be heavy, but you will not carry it alone. What's near may be sharp, but it will not cut you when you are hidden in Him. Let these words hold you close. Let them quiet the noise. Let them remind you that God is not done speaking. He is not done saving. He is not done protecting you. And what you choose to do in this moment will mark the course of everything that follows. God is stirring your awareness. He is waking up what was numb, softening what had turned hard, breathing life into what was fading. That is not a small thing. That is not casual. That is sacred. This moment is proof that God has not given up on you. Even if others have walked away, even if you've made choices you regret, even if you've doubted and distanced yourself from Him, His voice is still calling your name. His arms are still open. His presence is still near. This warning, this word, is not to frighten you, but to protect you from something far more devastating than anything you've seen before. When God says, "A big tragedy is coming your way," He is not speaking lightly. This is not ordinary. It is not a vague whisper. It is the voice of your Creator interrupting your path, because He sees something your eyes can't. He sees a trap set in secret. He sees a moment coming that could break you if you are not anchored. He sees an event the enemy has been quietly building for months through your distractions, through your stress, through your silence in prayer. But God steps in because He will not let the enemy have the final word. You have been marked by heaven for something greater. That is why the battle has felt relentless. That is why your emotions have been under pressure, why your peace has been shaken, and why you've been sensing a strange tension in your life lately. You've been feeling like something's not right, even when everything looks fine on the surface. That's the Holy Spirit trying to alert you before the shift. That's God shaking you gently before the enemy tries to strike loudly. That's your loving Father saying, "Wake up now, so I can protect you later." There is still time, but not forever. God's grace is unlimited, but His windows of intervention are specific. When He speaks with urgency, it is not because He's angry, it's because He knows how little time is left before something dangerous reaches you. This moment you are in right now is not just about survival. It's about alignment, about positioning yourself so completely in His presence that you become unreachable to the darkness waiting to devour you. If you're reading this with tears in your eyes or heaviness in your chest, don't be ashamed. That's the Spirit of God pulling your soul back into awareness. That's His mercy covering you, telling you that you are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too confused to be rescued. He is not finished with you, not even close. He is still chasing after your heart, still fighting for your future, still whispering words of life when the enemy hoped silence would swallow you whole. Comment 999 if you believe God is speaking this to protect you right now and not a second later. Why is everyone rushing to this 7-second brain ritual? Leaked CIA files exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the door to wealth fast. Verified by 4 top neuroscience labs, it's turning financial stress into abundance almost overnight. But this secret won't stay public for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it's deleted forever. There are things you've been allowing in your life that look harmless on the outside, but they've been slowly eroding your spirit. Compromises, habits, patterns of thought, people you've allowed too close. God has been nudging you to release them, not to restrict you, but to rescue you. Because anything that blocks your clarity or drains your energy in this season is not from Him. You cannot afford to carry what is not aligned with God's voice right now. There is too much at stake, the weight is too heavy, the hour is too close. You don't need to figure everything out today. You don't need to have all the answers. But you do need to say yes to God again. Yes to His presence. Yes to His guidance. Yes to His correction. Because correction is not rejection, it's protection. It's how a good father prepares his child for what's ahead. And what's ahead isn't something you can navigate with your own strength or insight. You will need Him for every step. You will need His Spirit to walk through what's coming and come out untouched. Don't let the numbness settle back in. Don't talk yourself out of this. Don't minimize the urgency you feel right now. That's not emotion, that's revelation. That's the truth, pressing past your walls and calling you into deeper surrender. You've been through enough cycles. You've had enough false starts. You've delayed long enough. This is your moment to come back fully, to let God seal the cracks in your life where the enemy has tried to sneak in. He's not just protecting your life, He's protecting your mind, your peace, your relationships, your purpose, your children, your health, your future blessings. What's being guarded right now is so much bigger than you. That's why you feel this intensity. That's why it feels like something is at stake, because something is. There are breakthroughs waiting on the other side of your obedience. There is restoration already forming on the other side of your yes. There are things you've prayed for that haven't arrived yet, not because God forgot, but because He's been holding them until you are in the right position to receive them. Until your heart is healed enough to carry them. Until your hands are empty enough to hold them. And this tragedy He's warning you about, it's not just an attack, it's an interruption. A potential thief of the very promises He's been storing up for you. But you don't have to lose anything, you don't have to be blindsided, you don't have to experience the full force of what the enemy intended. You can come under His shadow now and let the blood of Jesus speak louder than any plan of darkness. You can draw near and stay there, not for a moment, not for a season, but for the rest of your life. Because God isn't just trying to save you from one moment. He's trying to build a new way of living, one where peace isn't temporary, one where joy isn't fragile, one where you don't live on the edge of fear, but under the assurance that heaven is surrounding you constantly. That kind of life isn't a fantasy. It's what Jesus paid for. It's what the cross made possible. It's what grace makes available. But it's also what your obedience unlocks. And right now, you're unlocking something in your future simply by staying with this, by not turning away, by choosing to listen when you could have ignored. Every second you choose God, something breaks in the spiritual realm. Chains fall, weapons crumble, doors open, demons flee. That's what obedience looks like. It's not loud or dramatic. It's a heart that whispers yes to God in the quiet place. And that yes is more powerful than any scheme of the enemy. You are not alone. You are not overlooked. You are not disposable. You are not forgotten. You are fiercely loved, eternally protected, constantly pursued by the one who knows every detail of your story and still chooses you every single time. Stay with him. Stay in this moment. Stay covered, because what's coming cannot destroy what God has covered in his glory, and his glory is resting on you even now. He is going into the places no one sees, the places that have been locked for years, the parts of your soul that carry hidden wounds and silent battles. This is not just a moment. This is a rescue. This is a cleansing. This is a rebuilding of everything the enemy tried to destroy while you were distracted. What the Lord said from the beginning still stands. A big tragedy is coming your way, but I am trying to save you. That has not changed, that has not softened, that has not shifted. The intensity of this word is still burning with the same fire, because heaven knows what you are walking toward, and heaven is fighting for you to walk through it covered. There is no part of this warning that is meant to cause fear. It is all wrapped in mercy. It is all covered in love. And it is because God refuses to let you step into something deadly without offering you the way of escape first. There are spiritual traps that are triggered by timing. There are plans the enemy has set for specific days and hours when he thinks you will be the most vulnerable, when your heart will be tired, when your guard will be low. He watches for windows. He waits for your silence. He listens for the moments when your prayer life fades, when your worship feels empty, when your time with God gets shorter and shorter, because those are the moments he moves. He doesn't come with loud announcements. He comes with subtle shifts, quiet distractions, slow disconnection, until you are too distant to hear the warning, and then he strikes. That's why this moment matters so much, because God is speaking while you can still hear, while your heart is still responsive, while there is still time to turn and be hidden in him. The only reason he has been so loud, so urgent, so persistent in this hour is because he sees what you do not, and he loves you too much to let silence be your story. He loves you too much to watch you walk into heartbreak, devastation, or ruin without sending a word ahead to guard your steps. Is this the same CIA brain ritual changing lives in seconds? A new leak reveals a powerful 7-second technique developed under secret research. Backed by neuroscience, people are moving from debt to wealth and luxury faster than believed possible. But this secret may be deleted soon. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. You may not be able to control what's coming. You may not be able to predict how it will show up. But you do control what you're rooted in. You do control what you say yes to. And the moment you say yes to God's presence, something begins to shift. A hedge begins to form. A wall of protection begins to rise around your life that darkness cannot penetrate. Comment 1010 if you believe that God is already surrounding your life with unseen protection and divine direction. God is not trying to take something from you. He's trying to return something to you. Something you lost when you drifted from his voice. Something you forgot when you got busy with survival. That thing is called peace. It's called rest. It's called clarity. It's what happens when you stop running and finally stand still in the shadow of the Almighty. That's where safety is. Not in more plans. Not in control. Not in people. In Him. You've been trying to stay strong on your own. Trying to make it through another day without falling apart. Trying to keep everything together so no one sees the cracks. But God sees them. And He is not ashamed of your weakness. He is not disappointed by your struggle. He is drawn to it. Because where you are weak, He is strong. Where you fall short, He fills the gap. Where you failed before, He brings a new beginning. This is not the end of your story, this is the turning point. And that's why the enemy is so desperate to keep you distracted. That's why everything around you has felt heavier lately. That's why you've been tempted to numb yourself, to shut down emotionally, to go through the motions and just survive. Because hell knows that if you respond to this word, if you really respond, not just feel it but act on it, everything changes. Chains break, doors open, the assignment against your life crumbles. And here's the beautiful truth. The tragedy the enemy prepared will never reach you when your life is fully surrendered. The pain he hoped would shatter you will lose its power the moment you step back into the arms of the Father. The storm he thought would drown you will pass over when the blood of Jesus is covering your door. You are not walking into this next season alone. You are being led, shielded, hidden in the cleft of the rock where no arrow can find you. But this can't just be a one-time moment of inspiration. It has to become a decision, a turning, a returning, not just with your words but with your life. You can't walk in God's protection if you keep walking in your own direction. His covering requires your alignment. And it's not because he's demanding, it's because he's defending. He knows what paths are dangerous. He knows what choices leave you exposed. And his voice is not here to control you. It's here to carry you. Some of you have been feeling the nudge to come back for a long time. You've been sensing it in the quiet moments, in the tears that come out of nowhere, in the heaviness that doesn't leave even when things are going well. That's not just emotion. That's the Spirit of God saying, "Return to me before the rain falls. Return to me before the flood reaches your home. Return before the enemy thinks he has access to what I've already marked as mine." And what's incredible is that God doesn't just speak to warn, he speaks to restore. He's not just calling you away from something dangerous. He's calling you back into something beautiful. The closeness you've missed,